Debt often carries a negative connotation, a heavy burden that can crush dreams and stifle growth. Yet, when managed wisely, debt can serve as a powerful tool for building wealth and accelerating business growth. Entrepreneurs like Donald Trump, Robert Kiyosaki, and Elon Musk have shown that debt is not inherently the enemy. Instead, it can be harnessed to create opportunities, drive innovation, and ultimately, generate prosperity. This episode of The Life Pulse explores debt management strategies inspired by these renowned business figures, offering an accessible, friendly, and serious guide for those looking to transform debt from a liability into a stepping stone for success. For many, debt is synonymous with financial distress. Conventional wisdom often encourages avoiding debt at all costs, but this perspective overlooks a crucial distinction: the difference between good debt and bad debt. Robert Kiyosaki, famed author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, teaches that not all debt is created equal. According to Kiyosaki, good debt is used to acquire assets, investments that generate income or appreciate in value, whereas bad debt is used to purchase liabilities that do not create wealth. By embracing this philosophy, individuals and businesses can leverage debt to expand their asset base rather than merely accumulating expenses that drag down financial health. Now let's talk about the views on debt from these entrepreneurial titans and see what lessons we get from them. Donald Trump's career in real estate is a prime example of using debt as leverage. Trump has often spoken about how borrowing money allowed him to acquire high-value properties, multiply his investments, and create substantial wealth. His approach is rooted in the belief that strategic debt, when used to invest in assets that generate cash flow, can yield exponential returns. Trump emphasizes that debt is a tool, a means to capitalize on opportunities rather than an insurmountable burden. By negotiating favorable terms and focusing on properties with strong income potential, he turned borrowing into a calculated risk that, with proper management, has consistently paid off. Robert Kiyosaki's teachings on financial literacy underscore the importance of understanding how and when to use debt. In his numerous books and seminars, he explains that debt, when used to acquire income-producing assets like rental properties or profitable businesses, can multiply one's purchasing power. Kiyosaki encourages individuals to educate themselves on the mechanics of debt, interest rates, repayment terms, and the potential return on investment. His advice is simple yet profound. Do not fear debt, but rather learn to distinguish between borrowing that leads to asset growth and borrowing that results in unproductive liabilities. This mindset shift is critical. When debt is aligned with investments that yield positive cash flow, it ceases to be a burden and instead becomes a catalyst for wealth creation. Elon Musk, though primarily known for his groundbreaking work in technology and space exploration, offers valuable insights into managing resources efficiently, including debt. Musk's aggressive cost-cutting measures in companies like Tesla and SpaceX exemplify his commitment to financial discipline. He advocates for keeping operations lean, minimizing waste, and ensuring that every dollar borrowed is deployed effectively. For Musk, debt is only justified if it directly contributes to scaling innovation and generating future income. This approach requires a rigorous assessment of risks and a relentless focus on operational efficiency. By setting strict performance benchmarks and continuously reviewing expenditures, Musk demonstrates that disciplined debt management can propel companies to new heights while keeping financial risks in check. While the philosophies of Trump, Kiyosaki, and Musk provide a high-level framework for understanding debt, practical steps are necessary to implement these strategies in everyday life or business. Here are several actionable strategies inspired by these entrepreneurial titans. Evaluate the purpose of debt. Before taking on any debt, ask yourself, is this borrowing being used to purchase an asset that will generate income or appreciate in value? Whether it's a rental property, a business expansion, or investing in new technology, ensure that the debt has a clear purpose that aligns with long-term financial goals. Understand the terms and costs. Always scrutinize the interest rates, repayment terms, and any associated fees. Lower interest rates can significantly reduce the overall cost of borrowing. As Kiyosaki advises, knowledge is power. Understanding the fine print can help you negotiate better terms or decide against borrowing if the cost outweighs the potential returns. Prioritize high-interest debt. Not all debts are equal. Focus on paying off high-interest debt as quickly as possible, since such debt can quickly spiral out of control and drain financial resources. This approach aligns with the conservative fiscal discipline championed by Elon Musk, who is known for his cost efficiency and focus on minimizing unnecessary expenditures. Leverage debt for growth, not consumption. Use debt as a tool to invest in opportunities that yield returns. For example, a business loan used to expand operations or invest in technology can create new revenue streams that far exceed the cost of borrowing. Avoid using debt for consumption, such as financing a lifestyle upgrade, that does not contribute to building wealth. Maintain a strong financial foundation. Effective debt management isn't just about borrowing smartly, it's also about maintaining a robust financial foundation. This includes having an emergency fund, a well-planned budget, and a clear understanding of your cash flow. Trump's success in real estate, for instance, was not just about leveraging debt, but also about ensuring that his cash flow could support the repayments without jeopardizing his overall financial health. Invest in financial education. One of the recurring themes in Robert Kiyosaki's teachings is the importance of financial literacy. Understanding how different types of debt work, how interest compounds over time, and how to balance risk versus reward is essential for making informed decisions. Whether you're an individual or a business owner, continuous education in finance and investment strategies can empower you to use debt as a strategic asset rather than a liability. The financial landscape is constantly changing, and what works today might not be effective tomorrow. Regularly reviewing your debt portfolio, assessing market conditions, and adjusting your strategy accordingly is crucial. This dynamic approach, akin to Elon Musk's iterative and data-driven management style, helps ensure that you remain agile and responsive to new opportunities or challenges. Another essential aspect of debt management is balancing risk and reward. Borrowing always involves risk, and it is vital to assess your risk tolerance before taking on debt. For entrepreneurs, the potential rewards of leveraging debt can be substantial, but only if the risks are managed effectively. This involves careful planning, realistic projections, and sometimes a willingness to take calculated risks. Donald Trump's approach to real estate, for example, is built on the premise that with the right asset and market conditions, the returns can far exceed the cost of borrowing. However, this requires an acute awareness of market cycles and the discipline to exit investments if conditions change unfavorably. The key to transforming debt from a source of anxiety into a tool for wealth creation lies in leveraging it appropriately. When used to invest in income-generating assets, whether that be real estate, business ventures, or innovative technology, debt can multiply your financial opportunities. The entrepreneurial mindset taught by Kiyosaki and exemplified by Trump is that debt is not a burden to be avoided at all costs, but a resource to be managed and optimized. Moreover, the discipline championed by Musk highlights that debt must be paired with operational efficiency. Borrowing without a plan for how to deploy those funds effectively is a recipe for financial trouble. Instead, by aligning debt with a clear strategy and maintaining rigorous control over expenditures, it is possible to create a virtuous cycle where debt fuels growth, while increased cash flow, in turn, facilitates further strategic borrowing. Debt, when managed intelligently, can serve as a catalyst for growth rather than a shackle that limits potential. The entrepreneurial insights of Donald Trump, Robert Kiyosaki, and Elon Musk reveal that debt is a tool, one that can be used to leverage opportunities, drive investments in income-generating assets, and ultimately, build wealth. By understanding the difference between good debt and bad debt, carefully evaluating the terms of borrowing, and maintaining disciplined financial practices, individuals and businesses can transform debt into a strategic asset. Financial literacy remains the cornerstone of effective debt management. The journey toward wealth creation is not merely about avoiding debt, but about learning to use it wisely. Embracing the mindset that debt is a means to an end, rather than an end in itself, opens up a world of possibilities. With careful planning, ongoing education, and a commitment to operational efficiency, debt can be harnessed to pave the way for financial success, just as it has for some of the most renowned entrepreneurs of our time. By following these strategies and continually refining your approach, you can manage debt in a way that minimizes risk while maximizing the potential for long-term wealth. Remember, the goal is not to shun debt altogether, but to master it, turning what many see as a burden into one of your most valuable financial tools. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to the Life Pulse, where we explore the subjects that make life interesting and worth living. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you see debt as a tool worth using, or is it something you prefer to stay away from? What other subjects would you like us to dive in and share with you? As with many others, the subject of this video was suggested by you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Until next time, stay safe and prosper. The information provided in this video is intended solely as an introductory exploration of debt management strategies and is not definitive financial advice. Viewers are encouraged to conduct further research, seek professional guidance, and educate themselves thoroughly before making any major decisions related to acquiring debt. Individual circumstances and risk tolerances vary, and it is important to ensure that any financial moves are based on a deep and responsible understanding of your personal financial situation.